Welcome back to our audience as we turn to another really compelling and exciting innovator with roots in the Central New York and Mohawk Valley region as we continue MedTech's Biomed Empire State Focus 22 series. I'm pleased to be joined now by Katja Sverdlov, the co-founder and CEO of JelikaLite. Katja, it's nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
So, Katja, let's start where we typically do in these conversations, and that is help us understand the problem that you identified.
Um, we are focused on autism. Autism rates are growing. 1 out of 44 children in the US is now diagnosed with a devastating condition. The cause remains unknown, and there's no cure. In the United States, over 5 million adults and 1.5 million children now live with autism. And this condition is accompanied by comorbidities such as ADHD, self-harm, anxiety, sensory challenges. The biggest issue is communication and social skills. Affected individuals have unemployment rates of over 85% because even those who have earned a high school or college diploma, even those have significant social challenges.
So, certainly a significant problem. Help us understand your solution.
We are developing Cognulum, an innovative solution to reduce autism symptoms, enabling integration to society. It is an intelligent wearable device that combines therapeutic, non-invasive brain stimulation, EEG sensors, and a personalization platform. The physical device provides therapy through transcranial photobiomodulation, which means shined, pulsed near-infrared light through a skull. The child wears it like a bandana. The child does not even know that he or she is being treated, and it only needs to be done 2 or 3 times a week for about 5 to 7 minutes at a time. This treatment is non invasive, safe, and has no known negative side effects. It works by safely stimulating the brain, and this type of stimulation has been approved in the past for reduction of inflammation. In the brain, it has been shown to activate mitochondria, reduce brain inflammation, and improve functional brain connectivity, all of which are important for treating autism.
And help me understand, this sounds like both on the one hand a dramatic and on the other hand a real simple solution to the larger problem. Are its benefits continuous? Do you continue to receive the benefits of the treatment even when you're not wearing the bandana, or is it does it treat on an ongoing basis?
So the effect persists for several days. So definitely, and it builds up. So we're currently running our second trial right now. And what we see is that the effects of the treatment start to show 2, 3 weeks after the initial treatment begins. The treatment needs to be continuous, twice a week, 2 or 3 times a week, and children continuously improve. The good question is whether or not, after the treatment stops, whether or not the effects will persist. And that is something that we plan to study in a large pivotal clinical trial that we're working on right now and setting up. We're working with FDA on the protocol. We're going through IRB approval process, and we will be following up with all the parents of children who have gone through the trial. But yes, absolutely, the effect of the treatment continues after the bandana is taken off.
And Katja, tell us a bit about yourself, your journey. How do you find yourself in this space as an entrepreneur, really tackling perhaps one of the certainly one of the most well-known vexing conditions that I think we're seeing here in the United States, and I presume across the world. What brings Katja Sverdlov to this space at this time?
So my background is I have over 10 years of progressively senior experience in investment banking and risk management. And after the crisis of 2008, I went to law school because I wanted to work with individual families and help people on a more direct basis. And I since opened my own law practice in the process of, and I work with estate planning and special needs planning. So I've met a lot of families who have special needs children, which is now mostly with autism, where the parents are older. The parents are in their 60s and their 70s, and the child is in his 30s, 40s, and the hope is gone. There's no more hope, and parents are desperate to figure out who will be taking care of these children when they are gone themselves. My co-founder, on the other hand, Eugenia Steingold, she's a clinical psychologist who has been working with families affected by autism for over 20 years. And she was also really frustrated that there is nothing that she can offer to these families, no good modalities. The current standard of care is ABA therapy, which is behavioral therapy. It requires individual one-on-one instructions with very hard to find trained therapists, and it frequently simply doesn't work. And there's no medication that treats the underlying cause. So she read a study that used this type of technology in a clinical study in Israel by an Israeli scientist who did the study in Cuba, and they had spectacular results. So she was so excited. She told me about it. She said, I've been looking for any device that I could actually recommend to my families, and there was nothing available. So I said, well, if there's nothing available, and I know the devastation that families are facing later in life, let's create one. And this is how we got started. We did not know anything about FDA process at that point. We did not know about medical devices, and we learned. We went through accelerators, and we have moved quite a bit on the pathway. We have FDA breakthrough device designation now. We've run one clinical study. We have NSF funding now. We have patents. Some have been granted, some are pending. And we have universities who are willing to work with universities and hospitals willing to work with us on the next study. So very excited.
So you've talked, frankly, very optimistically, and to listen to you, Katya, it sounds almost too easy. But I have some sense that the journey that you've taken has been anything but easy, right? To walk your way through FDA approvals and IP and understanding medical devices. You talked a bit about spending some time in accelerators, and I know one of the programs that you've been attached to has been the Central New York Biotech Accelerator in Syracuse. I'm wondering if you can talk a bit about the benefits that you found being attached to an incubator or an accelerator, and how those connections helped grow your business.
Oh, we are incredibly grateful because 100% without the accelerators, we would not have been where we are. Because, like I said, when we started, we didn't even know the right questions that we need to answer. And this is exactly what the accelerators have helped us with. They would ask us where we are, and they would suggest the next steps that we need to focus on, and they would introduce us frequently to either consultants or other entrepreneurs who would be able to help us along the way. This is how we got corporate attorneys. This is how we got our regulatory consultants. This is how we got in market research consultants. I mean, at every step of the way, somebody was holding us by hand, and also, frankly, giving us, a weekly check-in, a weekly or a monthly check-in that I knew I had to do something useful in order to, when we meet next time, that we moved forward. So on many different levels, we are incredibly grateful to the accelerators, which we've been through. And we've been through the Westchester County Biotech Accelerator, and we've been through the Central New York and also Stony Brook Accelerator, who has helped us with consultants for the grants.
So you raise a point that I think many people may not be aware of, and that is that working with an accelerator or with multiple accelerators is an option, right? That instead of being kind of in one place and one place alone, there are different programs available at different accelerators, and it's possible to be in more than one accelerator at a time. Was that your experience?
No, we did it one at a time, just continuously. But at every stage we were at a different stage, so we had different questions and we needed different connections, and the accelerators met us exactly where we were and helped us with exactly what we needed to have at that time. So I mean, I cannot even imagine. I mean, I can imagine doing it by myself, and I know exactly what would have happened. We would have folded. So I am incredibly grateful for the accelerators and again the connections and the advice that we received.
And help me understand from your perspective, what does the future look like for JelikaLite? Imagine a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road. Where do you see the company proceeding?
So the short-term goal is the continued development of the intelligent medical device that's designed to be easily administered in the child's home with time flexibility, privacy, and no need for the physical presence of a clinician. And in the next year, we expect to redo this prototype, start the pivotal clinical trial in at least 4 locations in the United States, and hopefully by the end of next summer to finish that clinical trial. So by the end of 2023, we hope to have FDA de novo approval. The long-term goal is the continued development of the AI platform, because the AI platform looks at the combination of the effectiveness of the device, which is marked both by behavioral symptoms and the EEG data that we are collecting, and also the tolerability, any side effects, behavior that's reported by parents, to compute the most optimal dosage. And looking forward, once this platform is used by thousands of children, there can be future potential working with pharmaceutical companies that are developing drugs for children with developmental disabilities. We are developing a platform that provides an easy way to use baseline and progress. And we think, because it's a combination, the data device combination, which provides both treatment as well as continued tracking and progress, parents will be motivated to use it. One of the biggest issues right now is adherence to treatment, because we will provide both data and continued improvement of children. We hope that the parents will be using it, and the more data we collect, of course, the better the treatment is going to get. We do want to provide effective personalized treatment, but really what motivates us at this point is that we see improvement. We see improvement in children. We also see the desperation in many families who don't have financial access to access all the treatments that are available, that don't have the time to access all the treatments that are available because both parents work, there's no time to travel, there's no time. What we are providing, what we are developing is quite unique. It can be used at home, at the convenience of the parents, and it provides improvement to the children within 2-3 weeks of usage. So we are very motivated to get this done.
Well, in the few moments that we have remaining, Katya, let me flip the questions to you, and I'm wondering if for our audience members who might be interested in connecting with you or working with JelikaLite, what's on your wish list? What would you like to get out of a collaboration or a meeting?
2 separate things. One is the biggest elephant in the room for us is reimbursement. So there is no reimbursement code for this type of therapy yet. We will have to get one. And so any connections with insurance companies who, or insurance consultants, or anyone related to healthcare systems that are interested in doing pilot studies, testing it out. Again, we think we have a game changer that will significantly reduce insurance and costs of treating autism. And we see this, but we need to quantify this with insurance companies. So any insurance company who is interested in talking to us at this point for pilot studies, we would love to explore a partnership. And last, we're fundraising. So we're looking for impact investors. We're looking for angel investors who are interested in autism and children behavioral health.
Well, Katya Sverdlov, this has been a terrific conversation. I want to thank you for spending some time with us. I want to also ensure that our audience knows if you're interested in learning more about JelikaLite or connecting with Katya Sverdlov and her team, you can find more information at their website, which is JelikaLite.com. That's JelikaLite.com. Katya Sverdlov, thank you so much for spending some time with us. It's been our pleasure.
Thank you for the invitation.